main idea behind our presentation today was taking this idea of connections and understanding it at a human level. So when we're advertising within an online environment, there are different targeting mechanisms that are available to advertisers, and we can elicit different responses from the same ad just depending on the way we target it. For a brand to stay engaged within this always connected type of environment, again, it's very important to understand this human reaction. I mean, we talked today about the whole idea of issuing personally relevant ads, personally relevant content. When you do so, people will dedicate a significantly increased level of cognitive resources towards processing that. So it's very important for marketers to understand.
Yeah, and I think especially from a digital perspective, where there's so many different pieces out there and so many different places to get information, it's hard to take your brand out there and say, I'm going to be most effective in this particular area. So you really have to be able to use all of the different digital resources that are out there to really help drive your brand out into the market.
When we think about the future of traditional and digital marketing, I think it's good to think about the consumer's span of attention. I mean, we know that 75% of Americans multitask. They'll watch TV at the same time as using the internet, and we know they're doing so frequently, so half of those people do so daily. So if you're a marketer, you really need to understand that when someone is seeing your communication, whether it be via TV or online, they're not necessarily dedicating all of their attention towards understanding that. If I have any piece of advice for other marketers in the digital space, it is to fully leverage the targeting options available. We're all in the business of minimizing wastage, so if you're trying to get your communication out there, make it personally relevant, make it contextually relevant. If you can do so, combine the two or even go more sophisticated than that, and your advertisements will be far more effective.
And that's what's impressive about the theme of this conference, the Connection Project. It's not about just going out there and taking one piece of information and saying this is what we're going to base our whole business plan based off of. It's looking at all the different sources of information and saying, okay, now we can develop the right strategy that will ultimately be personally and contextually relevant to your consumers.
For me, making connections is a brand marketer or a brand owner making a personal connection with other people. And I think in the past, a lot of the time we've lost sight of that we're talking with people who have genuine needs and interests. And if you can cater to those needs and interests as humans with real human reactions, we've seen that you can be much more successful in conveying your message.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of different themes here for me personally as far as what the Connection Project means to me. One is the connection of information that everybody has, but then the other point would definitely be the personal connections that are happening here, which are quite phenomenal.